Hello, friends. We're here for another. Let's Talk Veterans Affairs with Dennis Anderson. I'm a licensed clinical social worker at High Desert Medical Group. I'm an Army veteran. Was airborne. I have no connection with the VA or any of their instrumentalities, but I do care about veterans. So do my guests. And we are here today with Jerry Rice, who is both a veteran of VA counseling and is a licensed, what's your credentials, sir?
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed with the Board of Behavioral Sciences.
And more to the point, or at least as much on point, you're also a licensed combat infantry veteran.
Yes, scout dog handler specifically.
Scout dog handler specifically. And what did that mean exactly for the time you spent in Vietnam?
Well, it meant that I walked point with the aid of a dog, and if you're going to walk point, you might as well have somebody up there who knows what they're doing, and that would have been the dog. He was picking up his third tour when I got him, and I was the newbie.
So you had an experienced dog and you were
Yes.
the new guy.
Yes, I was learning everything from the dog.
Very well. Hey, I guess I'd like to ask how you came to be a dog handler. You were initially slated, they wanted you to go to OCS, to Officer Candidate School.
Well, actually, NCO school.
Okay.
They wanted to make what we called a shake and bake sergeant. That was part of an old chicken product where you shook up the chicken in the sack, and so we called it shake and bake sergeant school. They had an academy to make E5 squad leaders, fire team leaders, that kind of thing.
And how many days?
13 weeks.
13 weeks. But you didn't do that. How come?
Well, I didn't think that was the way to make three stripes to begin with. I thought I needed, I didn't want to go into a leadership position.
How old were you?
I was 20.
Okay.
20 years old. And so I asked to be relieved. I had to approach a full bird colonel about leaving the program, and I did that within a day. And
What did you tell him?
I told him that I didn't want to be a sergeant, and then if I finished the program, that I would not accept the commission. Oh, and excuse me, sir, the non-commission. And he said, "Don't get smart with me, son. This is a full bird colonel." So I'm doing push-ups because of that exchange, and he did let me out of the program, and I went into casual company for a while, and then a new scout dog program started, and I thought, oh no, another 13 weeks of training. I just want to get to Nam and get it over with.
Why would they boot you from NCO training over to scout dog training? Why would they do that?
Well, they felt I had some leadership potential to qualify for NCO school, and so they drew their scout dog handlers from those who left OCS or were kicked out of OCS or left NCO school or were booted out of that program, and they thought they could utilize their leadership capacity walking point with German Shepherds.
And you actually told them you were afraid of dogs or
Yes,
something like that?
Yeah, I want to get out of that program, so I went to the chaplain, and I told the chaplain that I was phobic of dogs, that I was attacked by a dog as a small child, and he looked at me. I was lying through my teeth to a man of God, right? And he says, "Son, we all have our crosses to bear. Get back to scout dog school." And it was the best thing that ever happened.
And why was that good for you headed toward Vietnam combat?
Well, the basic and AIT advanced infantry training at Fort Ord was based on a World War II model. Storming the beaches of Normandy is what we were being trained to do. So when I got to scout dog school, I found that all of the guys that were the training NCOs had been to Vietnam. They're all wearing the combat infantry badge, and now I was getting theater-specific training for booby traps, improvised explosive devices, spider holes, snipers, and other things. So
These guys told you you were going to a world of hurt.
right, and now I'm getting to see what it was like to be walking on an infantry patrol in the jungles of Fort Benning, Georgia, which is worse than Vietnam, by the way. But
Fort Benning, Georgia, I've seen it. It's a kind of overwhelming place.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Quite a history there. And the terrain was just right. The weather was just right. It was perfect weather to be acclimated
Describe
to
the
Vietnam.
terrain and the weather, please.
Oh, yeah. It was hilly and dense forest. There was the Muskogee River to contend with, water moccasins, and and humidity and heat, and it was perfect setup to go to Vietnam. And we're being, in as much as you have to train the dog for what they were going to do in Vietnam, you can't train them to storm the beaches of Normandy. So now I'm getting trained, kind of what would we say, de facto or adjunctive to the dog being trained. I'm being trained to read the dog's alerts.
It was an all-inclusive resort vacation, everything
Yes.
paid for.
Absolutely, yeah. Preparing me for that government-paid backpack trip through Southeast Asia.
Tell me about arrival in Vietnam.
In Vietnam, I arrived at Long Binh Replacement Depot, and I received my orders to go to 33rd Infantry Platoon Scout Dog, the 33rd IPSD with a 4th ID, and with
That's the 4th Infantry
4th
Division.
Infantry Division. And as soon as I got to Pleiku, they said, "Don't unpack your bags. You guys are going south to Phan Thiet, LZ Betty. You're going to be hooking up with 101st Airborne, 3rd of the 506 Infantry, and you're going to be working for Task Force South." 4 brand new dog handlers that never walked point ever before. We're going to, and so we went on our own.
And that was your welcome to Vietnam.
Welcome to Vietnam, yes.
We're going to talk about that a little more in our next installment.
Okay.
So we'd like to say to anybody who's watching, if you like the work we are doing, we talk about veterans, but we also talk about things that matter to veterans and their experiences. If you think we're doing a good thing, hit the button and subscribe. That way you'll be notified of new episodes, and you can find out what happened to Trooper Rice when he got to the 101st Airborne Division.